The U.S. military has launched airstrikes on targets in Syria and Iraq. The Pentagon says more than 85 sites have been hit. President Joe Biden says the operation is in response to the killing of 3 American soldiers in an attack on a base in Jordan last week. The bodies of the soldiers returned to the U.S. on Friday at a military ceremony which President Biden attended. He stated the retaliatory attacks would continue. Let's go straight to our DW correspondent in Washington, D.C., Benjamin Alvarez-Gruber. Hi, Benjamin. What more do we know about these strikes?
The White House confirmed that 3 facilities were struck in Iraq, 4 were struck in Syria, and what we heard from Washington is also that the Iraqi government was informed prior to the strikes. The U.S. says that they were successful, that the whole response lasted about 30 minutes, and what we heard from U.S. Central Command is that military forces struck more than 85 targets, facilities including command and control operation centers, intelligence centers, places where there's also munition for missiles as well as UAV storages, munition supply chain facilities. And confirming the airstrikes, President Biden underlined something that we've heard from the Pentagon and several U.S. officials now for days. The response began today, and with that he's also trying to assure that these strikes will continue. Quoting him, he said, "at times and places of our choosing." And when we heard a Pentagon spokesperson a few days ago saying that the first actions you see will not be the last actions you'll see, that's not just a signal to Iran, but also those here in the U.S. who have been demanding a massive escalations from the U.S. in response to the attacks that killed 3 American soldiers in Jordan a few days ago.
We hear those words from Biden: if you attack an American, we will respond. Now, why is the U.S. not afraid to risk an escalation with this response, knowing that the situation in the Middle East is tense right now?
It's right. The situation is tense, and Washington's retaliation is a very difficult balance here. Both the U.S. and Iran have said that they don't want a full-scale war. The U.S. has so far failed to deter the Houthis from continuing their attacks, and Washington had promised retaliation. That's also what we heard, that President Biden already took the decision, not today, but that he took the decision which targets the U.S. would target in Syria and in Iraq. What we've been hearing from experts is that the administration needed to do something that they have not yet done, like striking individual targets in Syria or elsewhere, single offices, facilities, bases. Now, of course, it remains to be seen what the response to these airstrikes will be, but what we've heard from John Kirby, the spokesperson of the National Security Council, is that the goal here is to make these attacks, the attacks from the Houthis, stop and not to start a war with Iran. But now, of course, it remains to be seen what the answer will be, if there will be any answer, and what that would mean for further attacks, further strikes from the United States.
Okay, we'll leave it there for now. DW's Benjamin Alvarez-Gruber in Washington. Thank you.